What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Football Capital, and we are back for another Premier League review show. I can see you're already happy, Bobby, because we know what happened on the weekend. Yeah, some teams are holding three. You know what it is? 3-point collectors back again after how long? Yeah, look, guys, we are back for another Premier League review show. Like always, I got Bits and Bobs in the building back to back. Bobs is back to back. And we'll get straight into it. Manchester United 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. To be fair, it wasn't the best performance by United, but we did get the 3 points. For a neutral, I think for a neutral, you could say it was an entertaining game. But I think the main thing for us is just to get a W on the board, because we haven't seen it for a while, to be honest. And, criticism from a lot of our players in the last couple of weeks, Ronaldo being one of them. I've been hearing he's been the problem at the club. Well, if scoring a hat-trick is a problem, I feel sorry for the rest of the guys that are on that field. Also, players like Sancho, that maybe when he started, everyone expected him to hit that form that he did at Dortmund, but you can see now that he's slowly coming into his stride and, playing like we've seen or like we expected him to start playing at United. And also past the Fred, see, playing higher up the pitch. He's getting them. He's got more assists than Kevin De Bruyne, someone's telling me. There you go.
Listen, watching. Where I'll come into this is this, right? First of all, Manchester United at home to Tottenham Hotspurs. It's in their heritage. This is just what they do. Okay? Look, we'll start with Man United first of all. Manchester United scored 3 goals and they won a game of football. It's basics. It's now, personally, I do not care about performances. Just win the game. Just win the game. Ronaldo, 2 weeks off, not bad, go away on holiday, recharge, whatever. Listen, the goals he scored, we know he can do that. Okay? It's behind him. We need to create and stuff. And look, I'm not going to nitpick. We know what kind of fan base Manchester United have. 1 week it's King Dave or King Ronaldo, the other is finished, and so on. Listen, class is permanent, form is temporary. At the end of the day, we watched Ralf Rangnick try and win a football match. That was what was happening. And Pogba's got credit in the bank. Not a best game. Fred, great game. It looked like the most balanced midfield we've probably ever had in a while. And I'll start with that. The midfield looked balanced. Listen, if you play a balanced team, you give yourself a chance. If you play people in their positions to do the job that they're capable of, you've got a chance. And when you've got Ronaldo on the pitch, you always have a chance. Always have a chance.
Yeah, 100%. Like you're saying, the main thing is plays in their positions, and you see Fred when he's higher up the pitch. You got someone like Matic just behind that. I know he's a little bit past and his legs are probably a little bit gone, so he's not going to give you 3 or 4 games back to back. But what he's going to give you is these moments, these games against the Spurs, against maybe the Chelseas, the Cities, maybe this week if he can do back to back against Atletico Madrid and Liverpool's on this weekend as well, he can put in them performances. But like you said, and like all United fans see, there's always that one player. There's always one issue. Like we all know the issues with Harry Maguire in the back there, and if the way when I look at this United team, and it's like, maybe if you fixed the goalkeeper position, who can maybe with a better distribution, he doesn't always just have to pass to Lindelof and then it breaks down because he's never passing to Maguire there. It's always to Lindelof. It's never skipping lines. It's never going to our other players. Or, all right, replace Maguire with someone that can play out from the back properly. But then the problem is you get someone... if Maguire stays, then the problem is in front of him. You got McTominay out of position, Fred out of position when they're playing in that double pivot, and then again he goes forward from there. If you're playing them two, you can't play Bruno, you can't play Pogba, and then if you got players that are not going to track back, Ronaldo's not the 9 for you. So it's pretty much the spine that's kind of where it goes wrong for United. But I think
look at what you're saying though, Bocce. Look at what you're describing. Yeah, and then we are talking about Manchester United fans talking about managers. Get Ten Hag, get whoever, Pochettino, right?
Yeah, whatever.
There's so many problems in that team. How does the manager want you to play? David De Gea. If the manager wants you to start pinning balls like Alisson and Ederson, De Gea, unfortunately, is not going to give you that, especially at this stage of his career. You know, can he get better at kicking a ball? Of course. You know, like you just said, not every pass has to go to Lindelof and breaks down. It depends how you want to play. Some people are, you know, not everyone can play like Pep or Bielsa or break the press and all that stuff. How about just defend? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
kick
the ball at the park. You know, give yourself a chance. The ball's coming at you. Lindelof, Harry Maguire, I'm not passing to you. Punt the ball out of the park, even if it's in their half out of the park or in a corner. You know, just and then we can get back to. But as I say, it goes back to who you want to be as a manager, how you want to play. Because if we dissect every problem, Manchester United, it's going to be a long pod. So yeah,
but yeah, that's the thing. There's problems all over the park. But look, Cristiano Ronaldo comes back into the squad, miracle hip flexor recovery, and breaking records. You know, he's come to here. Right, he has. Hopefully, he brings home somehow with a miracle the Champions League trophy to just top it off. But he's broken another record, becomes the all-time top goal scorer, male goal scorer, and you know, I'm happy he was at Old Trafford as well. You know what I mean? You know, it wasn't like Vicarage Road or Turf Moor or some shit like that. It was at Old Trafford. It was a hat trick and fantastic goals, all three of them. Even though the second one was a tap in, the build up play.
It's a striker's goal. It's a striker's goal.
That's right.
Be in the
That's
position.
Right. 100%.
So we've seen strikers miss from there. You know, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, so let's be serious. And you know, with Ronaldo getting the hat trick, it's just the environment and society that we live in at the moment. You know, here comes a guy off the week of Lewandowski scoring a hat trick, Benzema scores a hat trick.
He's like, wait for me. Watch this.
Yeah. He's just like a hat trick. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But in all the revelations and the joys and triumphs, okay, with his hat trick, it is still worrying that Ronaldo at the age of 37 has to score a hat trick for Man United to win a game of football.
Yeah.
That's what alarms me. And I'm not talking about...
But Bobs, don't you think, I know you could say that at 37 scoring, he has to be the one to score a hat trick. But if it's a player's, like if Sancho doesn't play that ball through, if Fred doesn't look over his shoulder, see the awareness and know that Ronaldo's there, Ronaldo doesn't get that shot off. You know what I'm saying? Same as Tellez, our biggest problem this season has been scoring from a corner. That's our second corner in like 152 or some shit that we've scored from. So you need to get these balls to the player. There was a few corners before that, and you can see what Ronaldo's doing in them corners. He's telling Varane, make that run in front. Yeah, make that run in front. So he drags the player away. That leaves Ronaldo free in the box to get that goal. And you see, if you look at some of the headed goals that he scored at Real Madrid, that's exactly the same play. Varane makes the run in front to drag the defenders away. Ronaldo pops up free because I'm not sure who was marking him. Was it Doherty and there was someone else there? One of them was a bit confused who to pick up, and I think Doherty had to go for Ronaldo, but it was too late. He's already got the height on you. You know the airtime that Ronaldo has, and once you give Ronaldo that type of chance, he puts it in the bag. So I know what you mean with the 37-year-old scoring the goals to win us a game, and he has to score a hat trick. But it's not the players around him, because it could have been anyone. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we've had 3 different goal scorers. You know, the 3 academy players scoring a goal. You know what I mean? There was no 37-year-old on the pitch. So I do get what you mean, because you take Ronaldo out of there, who's scoring that long-range shot, who's getting onto that header.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do get what you mean. I get what that means.
It's a testament to him that obviously he's still producing, 100%. Fantastic. Listen, we're fans. Listen, we were both celebrating. My point is that, okay, we finally to play towards Ronaldo, we need to put creators around him, which is fine. But here comes the pressure. If he's going to do his job, we've said this how many times this season, the last couple of years. Strikers' jobs is to score goals. Defenders' jobs is to defend and keep clean sheets. If you're at home and you're conceding 2 goals and you're needing your talisman, your guy to get you out, I don't mind if it's, an outstanding game of football, as in football's being played like Real Madrid and PSG. But that wasn't the football. We gifted them goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Man United didn't even dominate possession. It's different if Man United dominate from first minute to 90 minutes and Ronaldo scores a hat-trick. Boom.
Yeah.
It's a different story. But it's the story is that Ronaldo had to keep scoring for Man United to win the game. It's the story and the narrative, and it's factual,
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why they brought him in. I mean, really, they brought him in because he was going to City, but they brought him in because this guy was a goal scorer, and this is what exactly what they're paying him for. Like Ralph Rangnick said in his press conference at the end, he goes, maybe we should send him to Portugal every single week. If he's going to give us these returns, why not? Yeah, why not? If we have the stat pad Ronaldo has the stat pad to get us wins, by all means. Because at the moment, to be honest, even performances to me don't really matter right now. Because even though I think top 4's gone, I don't think we'll get top 4. Because I think Arsenal
it's not mathematically out of the question.
Yeah, I know, but even though Arsenal, right? Yeah, even though Arsenal still have to play Liverpool, which is in a couple of days, they still have to play City, they still have to play Spurs, and I think they still have to play Chelsea and then us as well. No guarantees that they're going to win all them games, but at the same time, I think we don't have the bottle to beat Liverpool this weekend. I don't think we have the bottle to continue on. We've got Everton coming up soon. They're in a relegation dogfight. We've got Leicester, and we somehow everyone's putting goals past Leicester. It's going to be us that's going to have nil or draw. You know what I mean? And that's where I think it gets us at the end. And I don't know if they're going to throw all the eggs in the Champions League basket if we lose this game to Liverpool. Or, well, we have to beat Atletico in midweek. So I think that's gonna see how the season goes. But I get what you mean. Mathematically, it's not. I don't think we'll get there. But get the wins. Get the wins on the board. Get the victories. That's it. Win the game. Give us some goals. Let us banter some other clubs for a little while, even though we're not. Yeah. Even though the performances are not the best.
Just win the games. Listen, unless Arsenal have a massive catastrophe and lose 3 games, we need to be honest with ourselves. And the saving grace is tomorrow, isn't it? Let's be honest. Listen, that's a conversation for another day. But listen, we've got to talk about Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Harry Kane, best striker in the world. I don't think so. And that's not even on the basis of this game. But going away from Man United here, people talk. Michael Richards said that Benzema is now convinced him to be the level of Harry Kane. And people say, the goals and stuff. And I just think, Harry Kane has scored all these goals for pointless things. And when I say pointless, I know this might get cut. When I say pointless, I mean, yes, his goals have won games, 3 points. Potentially got them to the next round of an FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League. Yeah. He's never, ever scored the winning goal in a cup final or put on a performance in a cup final, And Alan Shearer is famous for all these goals in the Premier League. Alan Shearer won the Premier League. And the funny thing is, they don't even talk about Alan Shearer winning the Premier League. They show his goals for Newcastle, but he won it at Blackburn. Now, Benzema's been doing this for 10 plus years. He's not in the limelight. Probably media-wise don't like him for the France stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, funny thing, when France needed him, who came calling? He won a trophy with France. He performed for France. He scored goals for France. He's been doing this for Real Madrid. I just think that when we talk about strikers, we need to start talking with some articulate intelligence. And this is not a dig at any pundit or presenter. What I'm saying is that if you don't watch a certain league, do not comment or give an opinion on that player in that league. Because, you saw the clips. We've all read it. To say that Benzema is now up to Harry Kane's level, respectfully, that is an insult towards Benzema, And to be fair, listen, Benzema was doing this with Ronaldo. He had Bale. He was still scoring goals, putting in performances, Listen, Mbappe is probably the best player in the world right now, and Benzema was like, you might be coming here, but just remember who the king is.
That's
you know
right,
what I mean?
yeah.
And it's that arrogance of not paying attention to other leagues. Listen, the Premier League is the most exciting league. Why? Because Norwich or anyone respectively at the bottom league can beat anyone at the top. Okay? Any given day, yeah. But it's not the most technical or the most competitive. Let's be serious. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
French league now is probably as most competitive than it's been. German league. Listen, we know the stories of Bayern Munich and Dortmund and so on. Okay, but the Spanish league now is hot. And I think this is why I get annoyed, you get annoyed, and other people get annoyed because you're paid to commentate on football and give your opinion. Yet you're giving an opinion on something you don't even watch regularly. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll conclude. Steve McManaman called Marco Verratti an up-and-coming player for PSG. Man's flipping winning Euros, mate.
He's been doing it. Yeah, he's killing it.
French league titles.
But that's the thing. There's always going to be agendas, no matter which pundits talk. We've seen when Ollie was in charge, what Neville and all these other ex-United players were saying. Once Ralph Radney came in, because he's not English, or he's not probably not one of their ex-players or a friend of theirs, they're quickly to shut him down. Or what has he done? He's never coached a big team. How come what Tim Sherwood can't stand the guy, but he's out here saying, why weren't any other big club after him? Like, do you know what I mean? There's always going to be some sort of agendas, because Ronaldo scored a hat-trick to win us this game, but it was Ralph Rangnick that made changes that won us this game. He put players in certain positions. He put Fred there. He made the substitutions at the end.
He took Matic off for Cavani. He wanted to win the game.
He needed to win and he was going to put Lindelof to shore it up just before the own. Harry Maguire scores the own goal. Nah, we're changing it. One thing that we criticized Ollie for, in-game management, he didn't do these type of subs or he left it too late. Now we've got a manager that's, all right, you know what? I got to go for it. He's gone for it. He puts Cavani on. But yet, we're still criticizing the manager because he's not one of their mates. Yeah, look, we can go on about this, Bobs. But at the end of the day, we got the win. And to be honest, as long as we keep getting the W's to the rest of the season, I'll be pretty happy. Probably not happy with the position we're going to end up in, but I think Ronaldo does not want to hear that Europa League tune, so he's taking matters into his own hands. So if he can keep scoring hat-tricks and goals against clubs, hey, by all means. But Bobs, let's move on. Let's move on to Chelsea. Now Chelsea got another one. They won 4-0 on midweek, but 1-0 right at the end to Newcastle, and it was a great goal by Havertz. That touch for his goal, it was a great ball by Jorginho. They get the 1-0 win, but a lot of the stuff coming out of Chelsea is all the off-field stuff at the moment with Abramovich. The club's up for sale, but then the government has frozen all the assets, all the banks, all the bank accounts, and we know everything else that's going on there with how much money they're allowed to spend when they're on away trips, and tickets. No more tickets are allowed to be sold. It's just a howler. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of the whole political thing that is going on, but what's your take on it? Where do Chelsea go from here? Or do you think it's one of them things where it's like, and it's funny because it's not even the Premier League. It's like the government are putting all these restrictions on Chelsea. is it something that's going to be like, yeah, it looks like we're hitting you hard, but then we're just going to brush it under the carpet, new owner's going to come in, take over, and then everything's kind of back to normal? Or do you think that, hey, there could even be point deductions here?
I think the government, and I speak, in fact, it's factual. The government, I believe, always advise players to, the normal response towards football players when they speak out with stuff is stick to football. You're told to just don't mix. Ozil came out and said, I don't agree with this. I'm not taking a pay cut. Why should I help them? We saw what happened. He got exiled and so on. Paul Pogba, Palestine, we all know the reactions. Now, Roman Abramovich is guilty of what? Being friends with the guy. Okay? Now, listen, I'm not an MP, I'm not a politician or anything like that. But I just think, as a human being, it's very interesting to see how quick they reacted and acted. And for me, that's what speaks alarm bells. That's, to me, so quickly they're shutting everything down bit by bit, bit by bit. And I'm thinking, society, money, hunger, poverty, racism, discrimination, these things get ads, campaigns, they get gestures, kneeling down, they start charities. However, regarding this situation, they've just went straight for his business, the club. Now, look, I don't know the ins and outs what this means. We've seen all the banter and stuff, but it's a serious situation because, one, you have basically prevented and maybe cancelled a lot of people's jobs. There are people that we don't even think about, Bocce. The staff, as in the people the cooks, the chefs, the receptionists,
the security,
administrators,
security guards,
office workers, janitors, groundsmen, stuff like that. And the sanctions that they've put on, it's incredible. And I think it's incredible because I always think I find it interesting when these decisions are being made. Who is sitting in the room and saying, yup, they can only spend 20 grand away. Yup, they can't sell tickets. Then I've got to ask myself, during the pandemic, this was the same government that applauded Abramovich because he allowed his hotels for the NHS. He provided shelter. He provided heat, electricity. He provided everything during the pandemic. They applauded him. They said, why can't more owners be like this guy? So the hypocrisy is not a shock because we know what government we're dealing with. Listen, I don't support Man United. So personally, I don't support Chelsea. So I don't care. All I care about is the morals of the situation. And listen, we're fathers, we're husbands, we go to work and stuff. And my first thought was the mums, the dads, and the people that go to work that aren't the football players that that are just like me and you, people that go to work, and that affects them. And that's what I didn't like of the situation. And what's going to happen to them is this: they're going to go to games because they know they've got to fulfill fixtures. They will get there somehow. But me and you are old enough that when it comes to this, there's always a loophole. There's always something. There'll be an agreement. They put a sanction on him. Now there's not a sanction. They're allowing him to sell the club. It's changing. They don't want this man to own this football club. That is the message.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And, I always say Britain's a racist country, right? Britain's a racist country. In America, they'll tell you to your face. Okay, they say it with the chest that they're racist, right? In Britain, it's always with their actions. They denied him a visa and so on, and passports, etc. before. So he knew it was coming, stuff was coming. But to put an absolute sanction on the club that will affect many people at the club, they don't like the guy. And listen, I don't know the ins and outs of Syria, um, Afghanistan, all these other countries that there's Yemen and so on, where all the human rights stuff, Saudi, whatever. But it's like they're tone deaf to certain things.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I can't give you a
Well, bro, like
football answer
you gotta,
here.
you gotta look at what America. If you're talking about the politics, yeah, you gotta look at what America as a country has done around the world, what wars they've started around the world. So when it comes to American ownership in the Premier League, how come what you're telling me these owners don't? Because Abramovich, because he's a billionaire, of course he's going to know the prime minister, and of course he's going to have links to all these people. Of course they're going to sit on the same table because there's a common interest there. And what, because Abramovich didn't want to say something like his, what he thinks is happening in the Ukraine is wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't want to condemn it. Yeah,
he doesn't want to condemn it. It's like he probably does, but in that situation, you can't really say, and that's the thing, and that's what I mean.
We don't know bocce. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What the Cronkies, the Glazers, FSG, these American owners don't know anyone. What like the Trumps and all these guys, the George Bushes and all that back in the day, what they've done. So how come it's not the same rules? Yeah, this is what I'm saying. When it's nuts, man. It's not just the way it's happened. And look, like you said, we're not Chelsea supporters, and I mean, if this was happening to United, look, of course you'll be pissed off because to be honest, it isn't fair. We always say, keep politics out of football, but they keep bringing it back.
You said something there, Bocce. Sorry to cut you off. You said freedom of speech, right? Do you remember the thousands of fans were standing outside Stamford Bridge saying you're not getting off on this bus or getting off the bus? I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
Until you pull out of the Super League. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Now what's happening? Listen, he's a billionaire, okay? This is probably not the first business that he's had trouble with, or not. He might be the first, I don't know. However, there is a continuancy plan, a sustainability plan. Okay? He probably had this in his head that this was going to happen. What gets me is the morals of it and the hypocrisy, because, if you do your research on why Putin is doing what he's doing in Ukraine and so on, I think opinions. Why didn't Britain prevent this happening? This is what I'm thinking. Could you not have stepped in? If we're this big, powerful nation, why could you not have stepped in? And then you have to ask yourself, look what's happening. And Putin has said numerous things about Ukraine and what they believe in and their stuff. Ukraine still have Nazi signs, with their army. What are we saying here? I think we need to seriously think about. I think the government need to think about the message they're sending. And if I'm honest, I've got to put race into this, because people say you can't mix race. It is, because at the end of the day, we see how they're treating every person in Russia and so. And listen, I'm not here to say yes or no or what's right and what's wrong. What I'm saying is that if the Britain don't like you, they'll eradicate you. Simple as that. And that's just what's happening now.
Yeah, look,
it's just a shame now.
It's clear to see, even in the way they report the media. We've seen all the clips, we've seen the footage, and how, if it's not from the Middle East countries or something like that, it's what
just
why
this
we
morning. Just this morning, the gentleman said,
nuts, bro.
His words were, I don't know why we're not helping all these Ukrainians. It's not like they're from the refugee country. Yeah. And I'm thinking, this is Sky News. This is worldwide. The journalists didn't challenge it. And I'm thinking, do you know what, though? At least people are now seeing for what it's for. And the only thing I say is just that when it comes to voting and stuff, think clearly when you vote. But listen, if they don't like you, they'll eradicate you. Simple as that.
But that's the thing.
Unfortunately, Chelsea's collateral damage. That's it.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you where it hurts.
Yeah. Look, of course, you feel sorry for, like you said, all the workers and all that don't get paid millions of dollars or 300K a week like some of the players do. But then again, like you look at, like you said, there's always going to be a loophole. What the players, for when they go away to Lille in the Champions League, I'm pretty sure the players can throw in a few grand. It probably won't even cost that much. One player can shout the team for whatever they need. You know what I mean? So they can pass all that. It's not like it's coming from the club's money. So that can be done. But even the players, like, I just don't think it's fair on the players, how their futures are now uncertain. How many Rudiger off contract, they can't make any signings or they can't renew contracts. I think Christensen, and there might have been one more. I think there was one more. I'm not too sure. Alonso, one of them or something.
I think, listen, the funny thing is that the players that are running down their contracts anyway have an eye out. They have one foot out the club regardless of the situation. I think what makes it now interesting is that if we start to see more stories of players leaving, then I think we need to maybe start reading into it, because, listen, we know the game. People flirt with other clubs to get more money. However, if there's a government sanction saying you cannot do this, and if you do, there's criminating consequences, football players are just going to be like, do you know what? In this situation, I just want to play football and be paid accordingly.
Yeah.
And being a footballer is a job. Let's not forget that. It's a job. The same way they leave the training ground, they go to their families. Same way we go home from work, we go to our families. It's a job, And we need to look at the players we're talking about. They didn't grow up in Coburn. They didn't grow up in London like that and support Chelsea. No. You can be as invested as you want. If the ship is sinking, people are getting off.
Yeah.
It's survival mode right now. And look, if the government come down with heavier stuff and it gets even more peak, don't be surprised, man. People be like, yo, what does this mean for me? Because if they can't sell tickets,
yeah,
that's revenue. Let's be honest,
Yeah, it's a weird one, bro. I don't know what Chelsea plan to do. I don't know what the government is because, like you said, he wanted to sell it. If you don't want him to own the club, well, he's not going to own the club. He wants to sell the club, but he's not letting him. He froze everything. He could have been gone. But if there was a buyer now, there would have been a new owner, and Roman would have been gone. There's no issue. But now they've taken it. He's gone. He said he's leaving. He put the post up. The statements are all out. So I don't know why they're making it difficult now by freezing all this stuff. Let the players play. Let the team play. Let them get on with it.
Listen, if it goes to court, okay, and all this kind of stuff, we can have whatever. But at the end of the day, what is he guilty of? Being friends with the guy. That's all I know. All I know.
Yeah. I don't know too much into it too.
Deeper.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It could be deeper. He could have funded. I don't know, but I'm saying from what we know, because let's be serious. Before this war,
like America funds nuclear or whatever they want to call it, weapons to all these countries, bro. Like, I don't think these guys can chat to this guy. But who sanctioned him to own? Who sanctioned that for him to own the club 20 years ago? Whose fault was that? And then you look at Newcastle owners and look at the background around them, but you let that slide. Why? Because now then was it Saudis? They're not making money on the Premier League games, how they're getting streamed or whatever over there. Oh, now it's okay. But everything else around that, everyone turns a blind eye because what's going to happen? These guys might, like the City owners did, built stuff in Manchester. These guys will probably do the same in Newcastle. Abramovich, all the stuff that he's done in London and that Chelsea area. They don't care. Oh yeah, money's going to be pumped in by these guys, not from our government into these areas. That's the only thing. If it doesn't benefit them, then they're going to put these sanctions and all that in. But Bobs, let's move on. Final thing I want to touch on, Arsenal. Just to wrap it up, I know Steve is a happy gooner at the moment. Hasn't been ranting as much, but look, 5 on the bounce under Arteta for the first time. And to me, like I said, I think United are out of the top 4 race, and I think Arsenal have clinched that, especially with the win against Leicester. I think it was one of their best performances I've seen maybe this season, to be honest, or maybe close to that. The City performance, but they got the result. They got the 3 points. They got the 2 goals. Yeah, man. Look, from the start of the season, three losses in a row. They've picked up. The comparisons are. It was at the start of the season is who's going to get sacked first, Oli or Arteta, and Arteta looks like he's going to take them to the Champions League, and they deserve it. If Arsenal end up getting Champions League football, they absolutely deserve it, because with all the background noise by the fans criticizing players, and you know what, it's sometimes even when we watch Arsenal as neutrals, we're like, oh, it's Xhaka again. It's this player again. Yeah. It's Aubameyang again. Signed this contract, kick back time. Where is he? Disappeared. And they're right to be criticized, but I think the fans got behind some of the younger players, your Saka, your ESRs, even some of their new signings that have come in that did fantastic as well, and a lot of positivity for Arsenal. They're getting top 4 surely now, or is there?
I think play one game a week and so on. Listen, Arteta's had to press reset, and you've got to. The funny thing is, you just need to win each game or give a performance, get a positive result, and the capitulation of the clubs around them has freed up a nice run for them. Now, games in hand, this is where pressure comes on now, because Arsenal are now at the business end of the season where, okay, you have this opportunity now to, if not seal, make a strong case to get top 4.
Yep.
Now, they're playing great football. Yes, the young players are coming to the fold. Arteta is now creating a great hub for the players, and the chemistry looks brilliant. Okay, go and do it now. And that's it. That's it. Go and perform. Go and get the points on the board, because yourself. Talking is cheap.
Yep.
Performance, 3 points. That's it. Talking can happen regardless, but go do the job.
Yeah. And
that separates the winners and obviously the losers, I suppose.
Yeah, and look, even they got some difficult fixtures coming up. I know Liverpool, like I said, Liverpool in a couple of days. They still got United to play. And I think Chelsea, and then the North London derby's in there as well. And if Spurs want to, ruin their chances of making the 4, well, then it's going to be another big game for Arsenal, the North London derby. And we know, what do you call it? It's a derby, so anything can happen. Form goes out the window, like we always say. United are, by then, if United are still kinda mathematically still in the mix, then they're gonna be fighting for it as well. So it is going to be interesting one. I do think I think Arsenal deserve it more. Have been a lot more consistent.
Listen, deserve and actually doing it. 2 different things.
Yeah, but still,
let's be serious. I hear. No. Do you know what? I hear what you're saying.
Like,
I agree with you.
To be honest, I don't think the Manchester United players deserve to be in the Champions League next season. None of them.
It's not what you deserve, though, is it? Listen, football's a pro game.
Yeah, I know, but I just
about a smash and grab.
Yeah, smash and grab. I know. At the end of the season, if we end up coming 4th, we'll take it, but it's papering over the cracks again. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the way that Arsenal have carried themselves, the project in plan, project youth that Arsenal fans and Arteta likes to say, it's been working. It's been working. But for us, I don't see a team like us that we got leaks in the dressing room. Captain is rubbish. This player's rubbish. This player's on holidays, or he's got hip flexor. This player's not happy with the manager. He wants to play. Manager's been sacked, and the owners are rubbish, and the club needs to sort themselves out, I think, before... to be honest, as a club, we don't deserve it. But then even as players that are wearing that shirt, I don't think they deserve to play Champions League football anyways. Even if it's Arsenal, Tottenham, or even West Ham make that fourth spot, they'll all deserve it. Maybe not so much Tottenham, but Arsenal and West Ham definitely 100% would deserve it.
If they get top 4, right, last question on it. If Arteta seals top four, is he in contention for manager of the season?
Possibly.
And the reason I ask that is because you look at the start of the season, the situations of Aubameyang, Xhaka, the players that went on loan have got rid.
Yep.
To obviously no Europe to come through all of that and once in this season, and then what? To turn around and be like, I just got you Champions League football.
Yeah, I think he's in contention, to be honest, because
he won't
no
win it.
No one.
He won't win it. We know he won't win it, but it's a nice conversation to have.
Yeah,
right?
because 100%. Because I don't think at the start of the season you look at everyone's predictions of what top four is going to be and where Arsenal are going to finish. Arsenal was nowhere in the conversation. Maybe Arsenal fans had a hope, but even Arsenal fans were saying this season we need to make at least top 6. Not top 4, it was 5. Them positions, Europa League positions, they were aiming for. A lot of the Arsenal fans were saying top 4 will be an overachievement for them. So the way it's panned out with the 3 losses, and then I think some heavy defeats by City and Liverpool in the season as well. Like I said, the whole thing with their players, the manager getting criticised, they've bounced back, and he's made some hard decisions, stripping the captain, not letting him play, then getting rid of him on a free. That's something some other managers, Manchester United, need to have a look at when it comes to players in the dressing room and who should stay and who should go. So, yeah, you're right. That's a good conversation to have. You never know, because what Pep's doing, what Pep usually does.
Yeah, we know what Pep's doing. Pep's going to win the league, respectively, in my opinion.
We never know. Stranger things has happened.
This word always goes to the usual stuff, but for me, it's just like, talking about the stories and the journey and stuff. I think if Arteta can get through all the hurdles online, off field, on the pitch, everything he's had to deal with in that changing room, to then be like, we've got Champions League football. So it's a good story, man. It's a good story.
Last one before we wrap it up, just a quick one. Everton, are they going down? Are Everton going down?
Do you know what I don't like about the situation at Everton is that the profile of managers that they've been picking. Listen, Carlo Ancelotti was a free hit. Rafa Benitez, I think they probably shouldn't have done that, but hey, who am I to say?
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, has never been involved in a relegation fight, even as a player. He was always in the top ends of the leagues, winning trophies and so on. And I think, listen, it's a funny thing because you want British managers to get a chance and so on, and go and try and apply their trade.
But Bobs, if another manager comes in, right? Whoever, there was rumors Oli was in contention. There was Rooney in contention for these positions, and they picked Lampard. Even whichever manager, even if Rafa stayed, does anything really change in terms of the results in the last couple of weeks? Because I look at their next couple of fixtures. Yeah, they got Newcastle, West Ham United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester, Brighton, Arsenal to finish off the season, and then they got these 4 games are not scheduled yet. I'm not sure when they're going to play. Burnley, Leicester, Palace, Watford. They're probably the most winnable games for them. I know they got, I think, 3 games in hand in some of the teams below them. Right, so I think they have to play Watford and Burnley in one of them. So it's like the rest of the fixtures they're worrying, and I believe you can have Rafa could have still been there, and even if Ancelotti was the manager there, I'm looking at these fixtures and the way their players are performing. I don't know, man. It's going to be hard. I think they will just get out. It's going to be hard. I thought Donny was going to make a difference. No one's talking about free Donny now. He was playing in the 6th row and they got beat 5-0 to Spurs. So,
I feel sorry for Donny because he should have went to Crystal Palace.
He should have went to Real Madrid from the start.
Yeah, he should have went to Real Madrid, to be honest. Football is all about, journeys and stuff like that. But no, I think he should have went there. But listen, we can all talk about it now. They're in a dogfight.
Are they going down?
They could go down.
Are they going down? Could you see Everton going down, bro? That's
if I'm honest,
probably
overall, I don't think they will go down. I feel the quality and the pride of some of their better players will be like, this is not happening, you know. Because like at the end of the day, if you survive, you stay up, you go again next season. So, yeah, Frank's
because
a
of
fighter.
the teams below him. I know they're on the same points as Watford. Burnley's only 1 point behind. Same. Burnley's got one extra game. Everton got 3 extra games on Watford. I see them losing games as well. You know, I didn't see Watford, Norwich, and all these guys picking up maximum points.
So,
so
the teams below
they
them
could,
are a lot worse.
So they could stay up just because of that
I think
factor.
they will stay up. You know, it's funny it's amusing to have the conversation can actually go down because are they not one of the original teams to never ever get relegated? I don't know. I need to double check that.
I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So yeah. Listen. To conclude, Bocce, I think they'll stay up because they are the best out of a bad bunch down there.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see. It's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks. Not long left, Bobs, in this Premier League season before the next one starts. And then we've obviously got a World Cup as well this season, or this year, should I say.
This year, yeah.
Like always, thanks for joining me, Bobs. It's been a pleasure. Everyone else, get your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, all that good stuff. Bobs, where can they find you real quick?
Twitter and Instagram right here.
Any upcoming projects or any projects that have dropped?
Is
it top secret? Is it top secret? We can't speak about it. Yeah, you got top secret.
Let's just follow. Follow the name tag, the team there, and you'll be surprised. And listen, if you enjoy it, keep following and look out. But yeah, there's a few gems coming out soon. That's all I can say.
Beautiful. Bobs, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.